Hi everyone, my name's Scott Mattmann. I'd like to ask if you have any questions, please hold them to the end. Imagine, if you will, your 15-year-old daughter walks home from school one day. As she walks through the door, you notice that she's crying. Being protective, you wonder what could possibly have caused her such distress. As you sit down and comfort her to try to alleviate this unknown dilemma, she looks you in the eyes and tells you she's pregnant. Being a father of 2 little girls myself, I hope that I never have to hear these words until they're much older. I realize that no matter how hard I might try, I can't stop them from becoming sexually active until they get married. Now I'd like to highlight a few things that covers teens being sexually active, various types of birth control, not only to prevent pregnancy, but also sexually transmitted diseases. Teens are going to be having sex. There's nothing we can do to stop it. The National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unwanted Pregnancy does a survey every couple of years among all the... They collect data from between 9th and 12th grades. Out of all high school students as of 2007, they report that 47.8% are sexually active. This is a 16% drop as of 1991. Indiana ranks number 20 out of all the U.S. states for teen births and pregnancies. The Indianapolis Star rates that teen births have dropped 25% since 1991. And this was as of 2006. Now that we know teens are sexually active, we need to try and find some different forms of birth control. Now, of course, we have the barriers, which most commonly condoms for boys. Now, they do have female varieties. Females also have the diaphragm as well as the cervical cap. If that's not pleasant, we can try and control hormones, which various types of this would include the birth control pill. There's 2 shots, the Depo-Provera or the Lunel shot. There's also some other varieties, such as you have the NuvaRing, the Ortho Everett patch, and then there's an intrauterine device, also known as an IUD. Even with these various types of birth control, we still see teens are getting pregnant. Some problems that might arise with the mother would be child raising a child. They're not mature enough yet. Their social life can be affected. They may not have time or be limited in the amount of time they can spend with their friends. Still being in school, there's social life at school. They might get criticism from their peers. They may have to find a job, or they might lose their job. Their schoolwork, of course, is going to be affected. Their grades might lower for missing classes. They may eventually just drop out. Now, of course, not only the mother may be affected, but there could be problems for the child. The child may face being neglected by the mother. He may be malnourished from a lack of proper feeding. Worst case scenario, he could even face abandonment. Now, not only is the mother and child affected, but there are others as well. The family of the teen may be forced or put into a position to be raising the child. Finances are definitely going to be affected. Taxpayers might having to pay if the mother goes to social services. Some different forms here is TANF, which is a temporary assistance for needy families. WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, which is a nutrition program. And the Indy Star, as of 2006, reported that taxpayers in Indiana paid over $195 million for teen pregnancies. Now, we've seen that pregnancy is an issue. We also have STDs, where birth control is an important issue. There are several types of STDs, or sexually transmitted diseases, that a teen may face. Several are life-threatening. A couple, HIV and AIDS. It can be treated, but it can eventually cause death. Syphilis can cause severe trauma to the body, even death. Now, there's also a few STDs that cause physical changes. Genital herpes, which are blisters that break and form open sores. Genital warts, which is a gray-colored swelling. Of course, there's problems that related to STDs other than the health. They may be affected by severe stress once they find out they have a STD. Their social life can be affected. They could face a lot of criticism from their peers, lose friends. Might be put as an outcast. And of course, your finances are going to be affected by several doctor visits as well as prescriptions. Now, as we can see, research shows that teens are having sex, no matter how we might try to prevent it. And even with the various forms of birth control out there, they're still having pregnancies and STD cases. Now, there's no way short of a chastity belt that we can prevent our daughters from getting pregnant. And we can't lock them in a room to prevent them from getting STDs. All we can do is keep improving the ways to get the information out to these teens and hope that they implement them before they're too late. Does anybody have any questions?
No world enough to know all about that.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming once again and having to sit through this.